Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to be taking a closer look at last night's impressive win away at Juventus. And this, for me, it's a great week. It has been a very, very good week, hasn't it? To be a Barcelona fan, finally, smiles are back on faces, and that's awesome. Coming up today is everything we learned from yesterday's win. Let's do this. We first of all start with a reaction from the Spanish media, and it's actually quite nice to see covers here and actually enjoy them. Seeing Dembélé's celebration, seeing the team here come out on top in a big game, and not having to worry about the way they're going to spin things, about things going on in the background. Yesterday, we won the game, we played well, and we could just enjoy it. That is the best feeling. And Ronald Koeman as well. He was somebody who really enjoyed last night's win. He believes it's one of the best of the season. He said, I think we played a great game tonight. We created opportunities and we could have secured the win much earlier. And I very much agree with him on that. He said it's always important to create chances, especially in a game like this. And we were superior tonight. I think this was our most complete performance and our best game so far this season. And that's what I want to know from you guys. Do you agree? And to help you with that decision, let's dig deeper. Because if we kick off here by looking at the average positions throughout the game in terms of Barcelona, and I think one thing you can always gauge from this is how that attack is set up and how we're looking in terms of balance in this team. And I was really impressed with both sides of the pitch yesterday. On the left here, you can see that Jordi Alba played very high, much more advanced than Sergio Roberto did, who at times there, especially in the second half when De Jong was forced to play at centre-back, he was helping out in the defence half. Alba went forward, and that link up with Pedri really effective on the left-hand side. Dembélé, as you can see, and this is so important, and this is going to be one of the main things that you can take from this game. Look how high he is, and not only how high he is, but also how wide he is. Really impressive there. One of our biggest attacking outlets in this game. And Messi and Griezmann, very central. Messi, just a bit more advanced. But let's talk more about those two players. Because just as we said yesterday in the match review, I thought Griezmann was much more involved, not only in terms of trying to score goals, but also there in creating them. But I thought it was really interesting, aside from that involvement there that he had when he was more central, it was interesting to see what him and Messi were doing right throughout the game. Because yes, in terms of the positioning, you would say that in this game, Griezmann was most of the time occupying that false nine role here, playing as that striker as such, with Messi there playing in the 10 role. And that's certainly happened at many stages of the match. But also on many occasions, you saw something like this. You saw Griezmann drop in as he likes to do, but when he did that, Messi and him weren't occupying the same space. Messi there was going a bit more advanced. He was then playing as the 9, with Griezmann then slotting in behind him in that 10, and Griezmann helped create chances there for Dembélé, also Messi too, and that worked really well. But where it also worked, not only thinking about going forward, but also defensively, because when we had to track back, when we had to get back in here and defend against Juventus, it wasn't Messi that dropped in, because we know that Messi, the age that he's at, he doesn't want to be working all ends of the field. Griezmann was the man then to drop in, to get back, as we've seen him do many times in the past, and he was then the one in that position with Messi the most advanced player. And I thought yesterday they got the balance right, Griezmann more involved, Messi enjoyed himself too, and that is much more like what we want to be seeing. And I think just to emphasise really, when you're looking there across that front line of the fact yesterday we created so many chances, and that's the thing, we created chances all across that line. It wasn't just one player there who was contributing, it wasn't just one side that we were going down time and time again, whether it was from the left, whether it was from the right, down the middle, we had all bases covered, and that pleases me most. You can see here in terms of the areas of play throughout the game, and the lighter the yellow on this graphic here, that illustrates the higher concentration of play throughout the game. And as you can see, we're so balanced. We are so balanced across that front three, and that brings a smile to my face. I love that. That is what we want. We want every single avenue of play explored. We don't want teams to be able to set up to stop our left, to stop our right, to stop us down the middle. You can't stop us. Make it so that you can't stop our attack. And you just compare that to what we saw against Real Madrid. You compare that to what we saw against Getafe and also against Sevilla. In each of those games, we were too one-dimensional. We didn't play with the wingers we needed. We didn't play with the kind of threats that we had last night. And against Juventus, you needed that. We had it. And look how we played. And it's interesting because yesterday, for instance, you look at the match stats from the game in terms of shots, we absolutely destroyed Juventus. And look at those on target. Juve had 0 shots on target in the entire game. And that's a testament not only to the way we defended, but also the way our midfield was set up too. But the one thing that caught many people's eye, especially there throughout the game in terms of how the play was going, is the possession. Because on the night, as you can see, we only had marginally, and it was very, very close, we only just had more possession than Juventus. And I'd look at that first half in particular, when it was very much an open game. It was very much end-to-end. One moment Barcelona would go on the attack and then Juve would take over, and it was very much a game of two sides going at each other. And that was interesting because many people will say, Barcelona want to dominate the ball, and yes, we do. But I think under Koeman, we're going to see something similar to maybe what we saw under Luis Enrique, whereby the emphasis is more on those attacking players. Right now, with the players that we have in midfield, we don't have a Xavi, an Iniesta, a Busquets in his prime condition. Of course, we've got good players. We've got De Jong, we've got Pjanic, but I just think when you're lining up there with that 4-2-3-1 formation, you are going to lose a bit of control. That's only natural because you're taking out effectively there one midfield player and reducing it to just 2 players in that midfield. But it's interesting because in a game like last night, it was almost at times as though we were inviting Juventus upon us. We were inviting them to come forward. We were prepared for that. We were organised. And when we turned that ball over, watch what happened. Because there's no doubt about it, especially in that first half, Juventus were really fast and furious in their pressing. They were really, really energetic. They were coming at us from all areas. I think they tried to put real pressure here on the young Ronald Araujo. He didn't buckle. Of course, every time Longley had the ball, they were closing us down. They were trying to stop us here from playing out. And that's difficult. When you go to any stadium, big club like this against Juventus, it is going to be tough. There's no doubt about that. And you are going to lose some balls. It is what happens. But I just want to illustrate here by inviting the pressure, providing, and this is the key part here, providing you can get around it. And with Pjanic and De Jong, we did get around it. And with the players that we have here, Alba and also Sergio Roberto, we did get around that press from Juventus. And when we did that, look at the options you have. Because by playing here, only 2 players at the base of that midfield, what it means is you've then got the offensive players that when you get around this press, when you manage to evade what Juventus are trying to do, closing us down high, look at the options that you have there. You've got Messi, you've got Griezmann, and especially you've got Ousmane Dembélé, who time and time again, we turned over the ball, we were able to recover it, and there was space for Dembélé to run into, to really get us up the pitch and quickly. And when you do that, you're then going to see Juventus exposed. You're then going to see holes in the defence that you can pick apart, that you can play your attackers in, and I just thought that worked really, really well yesterday. It all comes from playing the right players in the attacking areas, having players natural width, like Dembélé, to carry the ball up the field. It really worked, and I was so happy with what we saw. And look, guys, a lot of people may say, it was only a 2-0 win. Juventus didn't play all that well. What is all the fuss about? I would say that Juve would, by the way, nowhere near their best, and I think we can all accept that. But at the same time, 2-0 doesn't really reflect the game. This could have easily been 3, 4, 5, and then you'd be saying, what a victory. And I just thought last night we saw something from Barcelona. We saw a belief in our players. We saw a good mental strength to go away to a stadium like that and get the result, and also just good improvements. It was big pressure last night on Ronald Koeman, big pressure on the players. We just lost El Clasico. It's been a turbulent week off the field, but we got out there, we got the job done. Really impressed with what we saw, and it's just encouraging signs. Before the game, Ronald Koeman was talking about needing time, about needing calm and patience to see what he wants to see from the team. This win here and the way we played, it'll buy him plenty more time. We can be happy about that. And these nights, like I say, celebrate them and enjoy them. So that right there, guys, was exactly what we saw from Barcelona at Juventus last night. And like I say, it has been an absolutely brilliant week to be a Barcelona fan. There's plenty more coming up, both here on Talk FCB and on More Talk FCB too. In particular, stay updated there on everything that's happening behind the scenes with the presidential elections. In particular, what each candidate is saying. I'm going to have that coming up on More Talk FCB and, of course, here too. I will see you soon, guys. Thank you indeed for your amazing support. I really appreciate it. And we keep pushing. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.